which is exactly why we've had such a hard time getting any kind of clear answer from any of the panelists of what abortion actually is. What does it do? Because talking about tearing a child apart limb by limb with forceps just isn't a very good PR strategy for Planned Parenthood or the abortion industry. All I'm trying to do is to remind us when we're having this conversation that there are two people. There are two people.
Recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Seems to me that a lot of this debate and argument centers around whether or not the baby is a person or a fetus, and I recognize that many on the other side of the aisle refuse to recognize the baby as a baby, refuse to recognize it's a person, it's humanity. Ms. Stuckey, there have been a lot of medical advances, certainly over the last several decades. Can you tell us about some specific scientific evidence supporting the personhood, the humanity of the baby, and the viability?
Well, embryology tells us, thank you for your question. First of all, embryology tells us that the child from the moment of conception has a separate DNA. And so when we hear these euphemisms thrown around, like my body, my choice, immediately obscuring the life of the child, it shows me that the pro-abortion argument doesn't deal with fact, it deals with feeling, which is exactly why we've had such a hard time getting any kind of clear answer from any of the panelists of what abortion actually is. What does it do? Because talking about tearing a child apart limb by limb with forceps just isn't a very good PR strategy for Planned Parenthood or the abortion industry. All I'm trying to do is to remind us when we're having this conversation that there are two people. There are two people. And I don't believe that we have to pit a mother against her child in order for a woman to be successful. We talked about, legislative solutions and showing compassion for children after they're born. I absolutely believe in that. Every pro-life pregnancy center that I've ever been a part of, that I've ever donated to, they don't just counsel women. They also offering parenting classes. They are also offering help from abusive situations. They are offering programs for these young women to be able to get affordable baby clothes and baby products and things like that. And so every pro-life organization I know cares about children in the womb after they're born and the mother who is pregnant with these children. That is what I am trying to argue, that let's not ignore the scientific reality that a baby is a baby and therefore, in my opinion, is deserving of the right to life.
There's not a person I know that say they're pro-abortion, they're pro-choice. So abortions are not infanticide. That is not how abortion works. And this type of deceptive rhetoric is yet another attempt to distract from efforts to make abortion out of the reach for women to shut down clinics. And I just constantly, I've had this debate a number of times on this panel. The mistruths that are spoken about ripping full-size babies out of wombs and killing them, that is not true. Selling of parts is not true.